Johnny Somali trial, because little did we know that he would go on the offense. So he ended up actually suing or pressing charges against another Korean streamer today. And we just got out of that court, and it was pretty interesting because a lot of things actually happened, and this was kind of a quote-unquote secret trial because it was never publicized anywhere, and the only reason we found out about it is because through the Korean streamers that were actually called to testify. So thankfully, they actually shared the information with us. So we ended up showing up to court here in beautiful Seoul, Korea, and it was an interesting day. So there was a few main things that happened. First, we got to court, and we found out that we couldn't actually be inside of the, instead of the assembly, inside of the courtroom. We couldn't be inside of the courtroom. And yeah, there was actually a lot of things happened. So we ended up getting the information after court, and now we know what happened. So what happened now was Johnny pressed charges against Youngman. Youngman is one of the people who pressed charges against him for the deepfakes. So currently, Johnny is facing 2 counts of deepfake charges. One is from the Korean streamer by the name of Bongbong, and the other one is from the Korean streamer by the name of Youngman. So Johnny and his legal team decided to go on the offense against Youngman because Youngman is in quite the pickle, to put it lightly, right now. So Youngman is currently in jail. Is he in jail or is he in prison?
He's in jail. He's
in jail.
No, sorry, he's in prison. He's been convicted.
Okay, so he is in prison. Okay, Youngman is currently in prison. And Johnny decided to press charges against him for 3 different things. The main things were a deepfake as well, because originally Johnny showed the deepfake of them 2 making out, and that's what Johnny is in trouble for in his current case.
Hank and Youngman making out.
It was Hank and Youngman making out. Okay, so Johnny showed Hank and Youngman making out on his stream, and therefore he got charged with distributing the deepfake. Unfortunately, Youngman, he saw that and he was venting about it on his stream, and he also showed it on his stream. So then in return, Johnny pressed charges back at Youngman, and that happened today. So it was for the deepfake. Then it was also for assault with a baton, because that was actually that clip where they ran up on him and whacked him. So one of the times Johnny was assaulted, that was Youngman who did it?
Yes.
Okay, so that was for that. And then obviously the last charge then was for stalking. So he has a deepfake charge, an assault with a baton, and then stalking. That's what Johnny hit on this other Korean streamer. Now, so essentially the reason they played that Uno reverse was they wanted to come to a settlement so that so that Youngman wouldn't drop the charges at Johnny, because Johnny has 2 deepfake charges, which each could be 10 years in jail? 7 years each in jail, but they're capped out at 12.
They're capped at 7. It's capped at 7. So the reason it's high is to allow for multiple charges. Yes, it does add.
Yeah.
So say they convict him for 3 years on one deepfake charge.
Yeah.
Then they can only add half of the original one. So say they sentence 3 years for the first one. They would have to then sentence a year and a half for the second one. So that's 4.5 years total. So that's how they come about the calculation. But say there are many crimes and it adds all the way up to 7, it's capped at 7.
Okay. So today in court, we had 3 people who ended up testifying. So first, Johnny ended up testifying, and he lied a lot, apparently.
A lot.
So what did the translators say that he lied about, or what was the main things?
I think the primary one was saying, I don't know, or I don't remember, the things he clearly would have remembered. For example, who brought the baton? Who brought the baton to the fight? You know. Okay. Everybody knows that Hank brought the baton. It's obvious. He talks about the baton. He shows the baton on stream. The baton is in his apartment. Johnny knows that baton very well. And they asked him who brought the baton, and he said, I don't know.
And Youngman ended up disarming and using the baton?
That's
Is that
right.
what happened?
Hank brought the baton, and Youngman felt, I guess, threatened by the baton, so he took it, and Johnny claims he hit him.
Interesting. Okay. Obviously, this is all alleged. None of this is confirmed at all. Okay. So for Youngman, who's currently in prison, these are some serious charges to be added to his sentence. The reason Youngman is in prison is you had the whole riots here in Korea a few months ago, and essentially it was like, what is it called when they declared it was martial law was declared?
Yeah, right.
And then some rioting happened, and Youngman was one of the streamers who decided to live stream himself, go into court, and throwing bricks and cinder blocks through multiple windows at the courthouse. Obviously, not a great idea to do. But he, before that happened, was also involved in, being one of the Korean streamers who were trying to keep track and keep tabs of where Johnny was throughout the city, because they were essentially fed up with him harassing the Koreans for content. So now that's came back to bite him. So that's why he's in jail. That's why he's in prison, and that's why Johnny could then use this as a legal strategy to try to get him to settle. So first Johnny testified, then Hank testified, and we confirmed with the attorney in there that from what we can tell, they were lying. There was a lot of information that was just not accurate from them. And then after Hank finished testifying, it was Bang.TV.
Bang TV.
Bang TV. What were the main things? So there was a few key highlights that what Johnny said and what Hank said.
Johnny said. Another one of the main lies was about the deep fakes. The timeline of when they showed on stream these deep fakes. Johnny insists since March 27th. March 27th, he met with his lawyer who asked who showed the deep fake first. He insists for some reason that Bongbong showed it before him and that Youngman showed it before him, which is not true. They both found out about this deepfake from Johnny's stream. Everybody knows the timeline, but he keeps on insisting that. He also keeps on insisting he didn't produce them, like production versus distribution. That's not what he's accused of, right? He's not accused of producing, he's accused of distributing, but he brought that up again today. I didn't make it, as if anybody cares.
And right? Was it the judge that said, hey, your story doesn't match up? It doesn't make sense?
The timeline, he said the timeline does not make sense with the facts. Because we know when these streams happened. But yeah, Johnny's, I think he believes his own lie at this point.
Interesting. Okay, so after Johnny testified, then Hank was next up, and then after that it was Bang.TV, or Bang TV. And at the end there, we were able to go in for Bang TV and so on. But essentially what happened with today's trial?
The bottom line was that at the end of Hank's testimony and before Bang TV came in, Hank spoke of his desire to reach a settlement. And he said at first that he wanted money. Hank as the victim of the deepfakes, supposedly, and as the maybe co-victim of assault and stalking, which he claims, as if Youngman cared about him. He said he wanted a monetary compensation. Johnny, in his situation, all he wants is the deepfake charge from Youngman to be dropped. And they said they'll do anything to, what were his words?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Hank's testimony is here.
He said, I'm willing to put this behind us if both sides will drop the charges. They have three, so Youngman is in a much worse situation, actually. I mean, Johnny's in the situation that he's in, but Youngman is in a situation where he's already convicted, he's already in prison, and he will be a repeat offender if he's convicted of these three charges that are very serious. Now, on the one hand, I would say that, so his wording was, I want to put this behind us, which is something you hear him say a lot. I want to put this behind me. He always says this when he says, I want to put this behind me. Right?
And I also feel like we should note that Youngman sent in 5 letters of apology letters towards the judge because of the deepfake situation. Johnny has not publicly apologized for this yet.
He has not even sent one letter. But Youngman showed true reflection. Reflection is that's what they're looking for, not just an apology. This isn't a situation with two kids get in a fight and you tell them to apologize and they make a fake apology. They want to hear words of true reflection. And Youngman has done that. He's convinced the court that he's sorry. So the decision in the end was they wrote an ad hoc, just on the spot, they wrote improvised. I would call it an improvised agreement. That's temporary until they formalize the agreement. So that agreement has been reached, and there's almost nothing stopping the court from dropping at least one deepfake charge right now.
Okay. So Yeah, there's a few things here. So wait, and then also, when talking to the attorney, he also said that he believes that Johnny committed perjury multiple times. And is there a chance that he can be charged for today's court case or for perjury in today's court?
I believe he committed the crime of perjury multiple times with a very specific goal, which is to reach this settlement. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
That's his goal from this. He doesn't want to actually see Youngman convicted. He wants to reach that settlement. So that was perjury. I think it's unlikely to go forward because the conclusion was a settlement, and the court loves when two parties settle.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, today was essentially.
Somebody said this shaisa is pre-recorded. No, it's not.
No, this is
live.
This is 100% live. But essentially, oh yeah, and then also I saw a lot of comments were saying, wait, his court hearing is on the 29th. This is a separate trial. So this is because he went out and sued Youngman. So
this is the trial of Youngman as defendant, and Johnny and Hank are victims in this case.
So very, very interesting. Anyway, so today was actually a big victory for Johnny because one of the deepfake charges have been dropped. Now, the next thing is, will the other deepfake charge get dropped? That's currently with Bong Bong. But Bong Bong has not been formally charged with anything as of now, at least.
As far as we know.
So Johnny doesn't actually have that leverage with her.
I think he said something very interesting. They asked him if he sued anybody else, or not, I shouldn't say sued, filed charges against anybody else, criminal charges against anybody else besides Youngman. And he said one or two. I think the wording was very interesting. He said one or two. And then he mentioned Yu Dalgun, the assault case. He mentioned that one, but what did he not mention?
Bong Bong.
And why did he say, I'm reading between the lines here.
Of like one or two, so he's trying to press charges against Bong Bong, most likely.
If it was going ahead against Bong Bong, I think the wording would have been two. Yu Dalgun and Bong Bong.
Interesting. And you told me he tried to press charges
against
Bong Bong.
I'm just guessing.
And you told me earlier he tried to press charges against Bong Bong early on.
Yes.
But that was not successful.
We don't know for sure, but this is speculation. I'm speculating that is not going ahead.
Okay.
He has a lot more leverage against Youngman because of the assault accusation and the stalking accusation. I believe the stalking accusation has merit.
Okay.
So Youngman put himself in this situation, and unfortunately for him, and unfortunately for his case against Johnny, he put himself in this situation where, like literally, if you look at his stream, there's one of his videos has the thumbnail is a picture of Johnny with a target on it.
Interesting.
That's the thumbnail. So
that's a really bad one to have.
Unfortunately, I think the stalking case had merit. So this was a great day for Youngman, and I think a good day for Johnny, but it's not the end for Johnny.
Yes. So the Youngman's lawyer was very happy with today because he ended up dropping 3 charges, trading for 1 charge. So let's say hypothetically, this charge gets dropped, and if he has 1 deepfake charge against him, he's still looking at 7 years. If he drops the second deepfake charge, how many years is potentially left then?
So he's still at the point where max penalty is 12 years. If the deepfake, which is the most serious one, if both of them are dropped, that brings the max down to 5. So that's a dramatic change. And it also brings the mandatory prison time out of the equation.
Okay, so he no longer has mandatory prison time if it gets dropped down to 5?
Yes, that doesn't mean he won't, but it won't be nearly as much.
Okay.
Now, my personal opinion, again, this is my opinion, I think the likelihood of Bong Bong dropping is very low because she hasn't committed any other crimes against him, and the circumstances where she showed this deep fake do not indicate a crime, because when she played it, she didn't know what it was.
Okay.
She didn't play a fake on purpose, knowing what it is.
Correct. No, it'll be very interesting to see. And then we have another court case coming up in a couple days. And there we have a few people testifying. Who is testifying on the next court date?
We have Hank and Youngman again as victims in the deepfake, in one deepfake, and Bong Bong as the victim in the second deepfake. Okay. We heard a legal opinion today that they will go ahead with their testimony, even though Youngman is dropping, even though they reached a settlement. I think it's more likely than not that they'll cancel Hank's testimony and Youngman's.
Interesting.
because we've seen them do that. We've seen
Yeah.
it, like when he pled guilty to Lotte World, they sent the witness home,
Correct.
and so this is the same court. So that would be consistent with their behavior. It also wouldn't make sense at this point. The only reason they might still go ahead with that is because it's not formally settled.
Right. They only have a paper. It's not.
Yeah, the paper is informal.
Because technically, it's still up to the prosecutor to drop it or
yeah.
let them settle or not.
Exactly, technically, but that would almost never happen, that the prosecutor would reject a settlement. They love settlements. The judge loves when people settle. The prosecutor loves when people settle. The wording of the settlement is Yi Jong Chan, that's Yongman, Ramzi Khalid Ismail, and Yu Han Jong do not wish to pursue punishment for all criminal cases that have occurred between them. So that was the temporary wording. All three signed. It was handwritten document, handwritten agreement, and so that has been agreed upon. It's not formally finalized.
Yeah.
So because of that, they still might testify. And we heard a legal opinion from a lawyer today that they will testify next week. So we will see.
Okay. And also, we'll get to see Bong Bong's testimony, and we'll probably get way more information on what's going on, if he can actually press charges back on her or not.
Exactly.
Coming up soon. Other than that, yeah, I think that's the update for right now. No, he did not win his lawsuit. He has a big, long uphill battle left, but it'll be interesting to see. And it was also interesting to see the legal tactics that are going in now. So, yeah, no, the Vitali trial hasn't even started yet. I don't even think the Vitali trial is going to start for a year or something like that. They are very backlogged there. So it's definitely going to be interesting, but we'll probably be there to cover that as well. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for the donation, guys, and the support. No, the court, okay. So I need to reiterate. Johnny's main trial has not been settled, or his main thing. This is a side court case that he got dragged into, or he dragged another streamer into, with the goal of eliminating one of his charges that he's currently, facing.
And he was successful.
And he was successful at that. So he's still facing, as of right now, 12 years.
Right.
So, yeah, again, big uphill battle left, but that's the quick update from you guys. I'll be coming out with a longer video on all this, where we actually go into detail on everything, because obviously this is a little bit off the cuff. We just got out of trial. Yeah, so we just tried to summarize everything real quick, but we're missing out a whole bunch of details that I'll be coming with in my next video. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys very soon. Probably in a video in like a few hours, actually. So, peace. Thank you, guys.